Good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on YouTube today. This is episode. I quit keeping up with the number. But anyway, welcome to Uncle Lou Show Live. Do this show we do it. We usually do it on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3. Sometimes we do it Wednesdays and Fridays at 3. And then we do it Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 10. So check those out too. But anyway, thanks to everybody that's joined. I see a lot of you in the comments section already. College Football Maniac, Jared, Glover, Squidtard, Ultimate Troll, welcome back, sir. Car Freak, Bender Rodriguez, Air Max, Drake Luke, good morning. Taiwa 14, good morning. Thanks to everybody that's joined already. We're just gonna do the phone calls today. Yeah, and your assignment today, of course, when you call in, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter to me. But when you call in, your assignment today, I want you to tell me what's the game you're looking forward to the most this college football season that doesn't involve your own team. So like for me, I'm a Georgia fan. I would have to pick the game I'm looking forward to the most this year that doesn't involve Georgia. And then once you do that for me, we can get on and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Anyway, shout out to Lanier HVAC Services for going ahead and sponsoring the Uncle Lou Show. If you guys are in the Atlanta or Athens area or anywhere in between, Gainesville, Georgia area, and you need some work done on your residential HVAC unit, give the guys over at Lanier HVAC Services a call. They're nice enough to support the Uncle Lou Show. So let's return the favor and be nice to them. That's Lanier HVAC Services. The phone number, if you want to be on the show today, 706-510-6817. And we'll get to the phones. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Uncle Lou, the ultimate troll here.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, first, I saw where you posted you don't want to hear anything about Germany, but I want to talk about the World Cup today.
Okay, I don't want to hear anything about the Germany game today because Mrs. Lou is from Germany. She loves Germany, and we recorded the game this morning, and we're watching it this evening. So just don't say anything about the Germany game today.
Okay, I will do, Uncle Lou. So, have you watched a lot of it? How much have you watched?
I've watched all of both the other Germany games, and I've watched parts of, I don't know, a dozen or so other games.
Well, it's been a really weird World Cup this year. I'm a Russia fan, and Russia has actually been doing pretty well, but there are teams that normally who go out there and destroy everybody, they're just not doing that well this year, and it's very surprising.
Who do you think? So who is it that's been the most disappointing team, you think?
Okay, well, I can't say Germany. So probably Argentina.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And they crapped the bed too. They hosted the last World Cup, didn't they? And they didn't do very good there either.
Brazil hosted the last one.
Yeah, traditionally Argentina a pretty good team, but not so much lately.
No, I think the team that's probably going to win it this year, it's going to be somebody you're not expecting, because you have the only really powerhouses you have left right now are Mexico and Brazil, and Argentina's actually in the next round. Yeah. Because they won their last game, but they just kind of skated by like Alabama did.
What about Portugal?
Portugal is a 1 to 2 man team. That's their problem.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, but one of those two men is the best player in the world, and it's not even close.
Oh yeah. I mean, Portugal has a shot. They won the Euro Cup. I don't know if you watched that. That was in 2016. They won that, but I don't know. But it's been an interesting cup. I think somebody like Sweden or who else? Who else is in? What's the name of that team? Serbia or somebody like that might have a chance at winning it this year, because just so many powerhouses are out and it's up for grabs at this point.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of very many games, like I said, other than a couple of Germany games. But Mexico looked really, really good to me. Like you mentioned, Russia has looked good, and of course, you know, they're going to have the home crowd behind them at every game. It's always good to see I mean, I'm not a Russia fan, but it is good to see the host country do pretty well. That keeps the people excited, I guess.
Yeah. Did you hear Mexico lost 3-0 today to Sweden?
Oh, really? No, I can't believe that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's why. I don't know. It's just been an interesting cup, and I'm looking forward to the end.
Yeah, it gets interesting now because it's win or go home. You know, it's the knockout stages now, so no more of this 3-game round robin thing. I like the way they do the World Cup, though. I think it lasts a little bit too long, but I do like the format that they use, where you get to play a couple of games first and collect the points and all that before you move on to the knockout round. But I don't know. Even though I have always liked Team Germany, I haven't been nearly as into the World Cup this year as I have the last couple of ones, with the U.S. not even being in it. I mean, no one ever expects the U.S. to win the damn thing, but it's just disappointing they couldn't even qualify.
Yeah, I think the U.S., they're about to fire their coach. I mean, what you should do is you should make a Mark Rick video. Like,
well, they fired him already.
The U.S. national team.
Yeah, they already fired him, though.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
They fired him, and they fired the general manager. They've hired a new general manager, and his job is to find a new coach. So I would expect an announcement on that probably sometime right after the World Cup ends.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most rich country, and we have tons of talent in this country, and you can't even qualify that. And we're not even, the teams America had to qualify against aren't even good. They were playing against the Caribbean teams. They are not top of the spectrum teams.
Oh, I know. I mean, you're talking about teams like Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, Panama. I mean, you know, I mean, Mexico, which is a good team, Canada, they're no good, but these are the teams that the U.S. had to win against to qualify for the World Cup, and to not even be able to do that is just absolutely humiliating.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
Well, I'm going to let you go in a minute. I was a good troll today. I'm not going to enter with a loud bang yet, but don't worry, I will troll you more in the future. So, yeah, thank you for your time, Uncle Lou.
All right. Don't let us down. We're counting on you, sir. 706-510-6817. And he forgot to tell me, and I forgot to make him tell me, which game it is that he's most looking forward to this year. But we'll straighten that out here with this next call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Good morning, Uncle Lou. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing great.
How's the weather at your place?
It's about 190 degrees. And storms every night because it's so hot. But hey, you got to tell me the game you're looking forward to the most that doesn't involve your team, which is Vanderbilt. So which game this season are you looking forward to the most? Or you can give me one or two. You don't have to narrow it down to one, but a couple of games, one game or a couple of games or whatever that you're most looking forward to this year that doesn't involve your team, Vanderbilt.
All right, so I think I got three. The first one is the Florida-Mississippi State game. That's just going to be so funny if Florida loses.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm excited for it.
I'm with you on that one. I'm looking forward to that one, too.
This is probably going to be a shocker. I'm excited for the Tennessee-Missouri game.
Yeah? Why?
Well, Missouri has a new offensive coordinator, and I kind of hope Tennessee loses this game. They play against Dooley.
That is true. He's offensive coordinator there, right?
Yeah.
Missouri? Yeah. They just hired him away from the Cowboys.
Yeah, that'd be a really funny loss, though.
Did you see, I can't remember who it was, but one of the wide receivers for the Cowboys was getting interviewed, and the reporter asked him, what do you think about Derek Dooley was the wide receivers coach for the Dallas Cowboys, for those of you that don't know. He's been the wide receivers coach there for years. He left and he got hired as offensive coordinator at Missouri. And somebody was interviewing one of the Dallas Cowboys receivers, and they asked him about that, Dooley leaving, and the new guy that came in for the Cowboys, and I can't remember his name, but they asked this receiver what he thought about, you know, Dooley leaving and the new guy coming in. And his answer was, well, can't quote him exactly here, but basically his answer was, well, this is the first time in 4 years we've had a wide receivers coach that could teach us to run routes. So it doesn't look like the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers were very big fans of Derek Dooley, but yeah, he is at Missouri now. So
Tennessee fans gonna be really mad when they lose to their old coaches. Gonna be like, "Oh, we just suck."
Yeah, I had never really thought of that angle before. Obviously, I knew Dooley had got hired by Missouri, but I never really thought about that with Tennessee in them playing. But yeah, that would be pretty good.
Okay, and then since I did two non, I'm gonna do the one that I'm most excited for my team at least.
All right.
And that is trying to think. I think I'm most excited about this upcoming South Carolina game.
Yeah.
It's week 4. We play in our home crowd, which really isn't a home game, but I mean it is, but when it's always 60-40, 70-30, you can't really ever expect it to be a home game, right?
Well, I mean, it's either a home game or it's not. I mean, as far as who shows up in the stands, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 70-30 usually.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's not too bad. I mean, a lot of SEC teams have fan bases that travel real well during the season. So, I mean, I don't know what the percentages would be at other stadiums. I know at Sanford Stadium, there's a certain section of the stadium where the opposing team is always sitting. And I've even sat there a couple of times. I think I've said a couple of times before, but I have a real good friend of mine. We've been friends forever. He lives in Atlanta, and his aunt graduated from the University of Tennessee and gets season tickets every year to the home and away games, but she doesn't go to the away games. So every other year, when Tennessee plays in Athens, she gives this buddy of mine in Atlanta her 2 tickets, and he always takes me to the game. So usually when I go to the Georgia-Tennessee game in Athens, I'm actually sitting in the Tennessee section in Athens. So it makes for some pretty interesting conversation.
I went to the South Carolina, Vandy played at South Carolina last year, and I went to that game, and we actually sat in the home section with a bunch of South Carolina fans, and man, they are so dumb. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been to a game at Williams-Brice Stadium, and I wasn't impressed. Stadium,
but their fans are idiotic.
Yeah, well, I mean, and of course, you know, and you hear like some stories float around. It seems like every year, like, and every once in a while they'll go viral, get picked up by the news, where somebody's like, I'm a fan of this team, and I went to an away game at this stadium, and this group of fans was so obnoxious and annoying, and they were drunk, and someone threw beer on me.
Oh, yeah.
You hear stories like that. I mean, the bottom line is, though, at any college football game in America, there's a potential, as a visiting fan, there's the potential for you to have a bad experience. It all depends on who you end up sitting around, what types of people you end up running into. I mean, there's bad fans at Georgia who probably have too much to drink and don't know how to act during the games, but that's not specific to Georgia or South Carolina or Vandy or Tennessee. I mean, that happens, you know, I mean, that just happens anywhere you go. So the experience that you have as a visiting fan at another opponent's stadium is really based around the type of people that you end up sitting around, being around, that kind of thing. I know fans who have come to Athens and said it's the best away game experience they've ever had. I know people who have come to Athens and said it was the worst away game experience they've ever had, and I'm sure that story would be the same for every stadium in the SEC, depending on what experience you had when you were there. So I don't want it to come off like I'm just saying South Carolina fans are the only ones that do that. I'm sure it happens everywhere.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm excited about this year is because if we lose this year, that'd be South Carolina's beating us 10 in a row then.
South Carolina has beaten you 10 in a row. South Carolina's beaten you 10 in a row.
Yeah, if we lose this year, we lose 10 in a row to South Carolina.
Man, you can't let that happen, man. That's embarrassing, bro.
Yeah, no. I'm blaming we should have beat them in 2016. Yeah, 2016. But our coach pulled Kyle Shermer. We were up 7-6, and he pulled Kyle from the game and put in his backup, who let Carolina score a touchdown.
I guess those couple of years.
But not doing it.
I guess those couple of years where y'all had James Franklin and were pretty good. That must have been around the same time Spurrier was. There was 3 years in a row where Spurrier went like 11-1 or something at or 10-2 or something at South Carolina. That must have been around the same time Franklin was on his run at Vanderbilt. If not, I can't believe Franklin didn't beat him.
Yeah, Franklin never destroyed by South Carolina.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for the call, Jared.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk to you next time, buddy. Yep, our resident Vanderbilt fan and OG Uncle Lou moderator, Jared, checking in today. Thank you for the call, Jared. 706-510-6817. If you want to go ahead and try to get on the show. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. I have a question about Vanderbilt.
All right, state your name for the record, and then before we get to your question about Vanderbilt, you got to tell me which game you're looking forward to the most this year that doesn't involve your own team. You can make up a name. You can make up a name if you can make up a name if you want to, but I have to have something to call you. So, you there?
All right.
Yeah, when you call in, you say, "Hey, this is." Whatever, and then that way I know what to call you. So, this is.
This is.
You can make up a name, man.
Danny.
Come on, huh?
What?
You can make up a name or whatever, but come on.
Danny.
Okay, Danny, thanks for calling in today. Now, what game is it that you're looking forward to the most this year that doesn't involve your own team?
I'm not sure. I don't really know much about sports. I just came in to ask you a question.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask.
Okay. Did Vanderbilt rape your hairline?
You there? We can't hear you. Uh, 706-510-6817. If you need to be on the show, now's the time to do it. You can see like that last guy. He just fulfilled one of his lifelong dreams there. Yep. 706-510-6817. Let's see, where is this? Let's try. Whoever this 864 number is, yeah, just, I guess call right back. I don't know. Good morning, y'all, with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Fine. Alabama fan here, calling from Birmingham.
What's going on today?
Enjoy your show. Get it on the internet.
Oh, thank you.
And you are a disruptive part of my life. I'm a CPA, and during tax season, it's hard to do my work and listen to your show during the day. So, anyway, but I enjoy it. You have a good sense of humor.
Thank you.
Question for you. All right, the game I'm looking forward to is the Michigan Notre Dame game. Can't stand either one of them. Hope they just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, that's one of the games on my list too, and I'm the same way. I don't care about Michigan or Notre Dame, but those two teams played each other every year for so long, it just didn't feel right when they quit playing. So I'm glad to see them getting back together this year. So yeah, that's a good one there.
I agree. And I have absolutely enjoyed some of your videos you've done. Of course, the one that is near and dear to our hearts over here is your live reaction
that was brutal. But it is what it is.
I've been there.
You know, when
year,
Georgia wins, I get on video after the game and I beat my chest and I hoot and holler and, you know, ha ha, I told you I was right. So when we lose, you know, I don't disappear. I don't hide. You know, I still make the video. I still show up and let everybody, you know, tell me what an idiot I am. And so it works both ways.
Yeah. Well, we were there the year before in the Clemson game. Question I've been pondering for a while is the in your opinion, I respect your opinion. You have a good objective view of it. Of the Blue Bloods all-time college football programs, what would be your 10?
Top 10?
And you can make up whatever criteria. Yeah, whatever criteria you want to use. I just think looking at the whole body of century plus of work these programs have put in and success or not.
Yeah. Obviously,
your top 10.
Obviously, and these are going to be. I would have to do some research to put these in a particular order. So these aren't necessarily in any order, but these would be the top 10: Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Southern Cal, maybe Texas. I'm not sure if there's any SEC team other than Alabama that I would put there. I don't think there is. I mean, Florida fan likes to think they're top 10 all time, but before the mid 90s, no one knew or cared who Florida was. So yeah, they've been pretty good for the last 20 years, but they were so bad before that. I don't think you can put them in an all-time top 10. Oklahoma, Nebraska, and then kind of the opposite for like your Yales and your Harvards. I mean, they won national championships and dominated back in the 30s and 40s and all that. But then now, you know, college football is totally different now. They're irrelevant for 40 years now. So the same reason Florida's not in is the same reason I wouldn't put like a Harvard or a Yale in. And I wouldn't put Georgia in the top 10. I'd have them somewhere in the probably 11 to 15 range in terms of all-time programs. I mean, when you look at number of wins, they're top 10 or close to top 10. Bowl wins, they're close to top 10 or top 10. Winning percentage all time, they're close to top 10 or top 10. What's really holding Georgia back is only the 2 national titles. Those other teams in the top 10 list would have more than that.
Yeah. My other top 10, I think you checked off everyone. You did say Michigan, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The only other one I would put in there is Penn State. I think everything else, you nailed it.
Tennessee has a strong argument for it. They really do. Of course, they were great under Neyland way back when. They had a great run with Fulmer, especially in the late '90s. Tailed off some in the 2000s, and of course, we don't need to get into the state of their program now. But it has been 20 years since they've even won an SEC title. So I don't know. I would have them borderline top 10. I would probably have them slightly ahead of Georgia. So wherever I decided to put Georgia, if I put Georgia at 13, I might have Tennessee at 12. If I put Georgia at 12, I might have Tennessee at 11. I think they're probably a little bit ahead of Georgia on the all-time list of greatest programs.
Yeah, I think I misspoke. I meant to say the Nittany Lions Penn State would be in my top 10.
Penn State, yeah, they had a great team, especially in the 80s, if I'm talking about just my lifetime. But in the 80s, they had some great teams. And, of course, since they got James Franklin, they've kind of reemerged post Joe Paterno, and you know, they've turned themselves back into a perennial, really top 10 program under James Franklin. And as long as they have James Franklin, I really don't think they're going to tail off that much. It's going to be tough to sort of get over the hump every single year in the big, like, they're not going to go on like an Alabama type run or anything like that. But you know, Penn State's going to be a top 10 or 15 team as long as James Franklin is there. I'm sure of that. I'm a believer in him for sure.
That Big Ten. That Big Ten East is just a brutal. At one time, I thought nothing could top the SEC West, but that Big East or Big Ten East division is just something else.
Yeah, I mean, like the SEC West, when LSU was better than they are now, and when Auburn, 2010 and then 2013 making 2 title games, and of course Alabama making a bunch of title games. that was the SEC West at its absolute peak. Right now, LSU has sort of tailed off, and no other team has really stepped up to take their place as far as being a top 10 team. So you're probably right. That division in the Big Ten is probably even tougher than the SEC West right now.
Yeah. Other than, I mean, at one point there were Alabama, Auburn, it was Alabama, LSU, and Arkansas actually were top 1, 2, and 3 teams in the country at one point about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I think when Petrino was there, but right now that's just a brutal with Michigan State, Michigan, and Penn State and Ohio State and so forth. But anyway, well, I don't want to keep up too much of your time. I really enjoy your podcast, your show, and you're just a lot of fun, and I really appreciate your talent and your willingness to put up with some goofy ass callers in hopes to get some reasonable callers. So
yeah,
and look forward to seeing you in Atlanta. I think Alabama and Georgia are headed for another collision.
I think so too. I really appreciate the call and the kind words. Thank you, sir. I hope to hear back from you again during the season. I hope you'll stay in touch with us and keep us up to date on what's going on with the Crimson Tide this year. That was a good call. And the guy even said something nice about Uncle Lou, which is unusual. So thank you for that, sir. 706-510-6817 if you want to be on the show. I saw somebody in the comment section a little while ago say, Lou, answer my phone call. My phone number ends in blah, blah, blah. I don't pick and choose. The phone rings like it is right now, and I answer it. That's just the way it goes. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Sure. Lou, this is Carolina Jackpot also, and too.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, man, them tickets was rigged.
It was rigged. Yours come from the dollar store.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, what's going on today, buddy?
Hey, we're talking about games that we're looking forward to.
Yep.
First off, I mean, I'm just looking forward to week 1, and you got a few decent matchups, and I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this West Virginia-Tennessee game. I mean, that's going to show, hey, if Tennessee goes out there and pulls some kind of shocker, you know, this whole season, you know, we got to revisit all of our West might shape up. But another one I'm looking at that not a lot of people are talking about, doesn't involve SEC teams, but Virginia Tech at Florida State. I think that one's on Labor Day. Maybe. I think Virginia Tech wins that game, and I'm not sold on Florida State. I don't understand the hype behind this team every year. They're picked to finish second to challenge Clemson for ACC Atlantic Division crown. I think it's going to happen. I think Clemson's going to run away with it, and everybody else is going to be duking it out for second place. But I think Virginia Tech's going to take care of business. I just don't like Florida State. I'd like to see them get whooped at home. I'm not sold on that coach. And other than that, yeah, Carolina, UGA, second week of the season. That's gonna tell us a little bit about where we're gonna finish up. Now, I mean, if we lose that game, we play well, but we lose. I mean, is our season a loss? No, it's not. But, you know, if we win that game, you know, they can't sit back and, let's just stop competing here, because it's typical Carolina to do this, or it was typical Carolina to do this. Especially think back to 2012, Carolina UGA was a top 10 matchup. Y'all came to Willie B, and we absolutely curb stomped you guys. And then what? We turn around 2 weeks later and lose to, what was it, Boone's second team at Florida, like 45-11 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then boom, there goes, you know, your chance to go to Atlanta. So that game is it's gonna be pivotal, but it's not make or break.
Right. I agree with a lot of the points you made. If Tennessee somehow wins that game week 1 against West Virginia, then I think you're right. A lot of people are going to have to reevaluate their preseason win totals that they had for Tennessee. And also with your Virginia Tech and Florida State analysis, I'm sort of with you there too. I've been a fan of Fuentes for a while before he even got to Virginia Tech, and I'm also not a fan of the new guy they brought in, Taggart. Now, you know, recruiting wise, I guess he'll be okay, but realistically, you would think just about anybody would be able to recruit in the state of Florida. There's just so much talent there. So that hire didn't make much sense to me. Either. And since you mentioned the Tennessee-West Virginia game, I'll go ahead and break a little news here on LouTube today. But I'm currently in discussions, but there is about a 65 to 75% chance that Uncle Lou will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the first Saturday of college football season, attending the West Virginia versus Valtard game.
Is Uncle Lou going to be there, or is the general going to be there?
Probably Uncle Lou. I don't think I want to take the general there.
It might be too hot to wear that, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I've been to a game. I've been to the first game of the season in Charlotte. It's brutal.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But hey, Virginia. I mean, not to Virginia. West Virginia. Honestly, they are not scared to play a decent out-of-conference schedule. I mean, they have their Big 12 schedule, which I mean is decent enough. But they're taking on NC State on the road, and they play that Tennessee game. So I have any room. They have no room to really squeeze anybody else in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's you know, they don't have a teams like Virginia Tech that don't have an in-state rival that's in another conference. They have some room, kind of like y'all and Clemson. Like y'all play Clemson every year. So for South Carolina, if y'all ever pick up another big out-of-conference game, then you're having to play two big out-of-conference games because you play Clemson every year. Sort of like last year, Georgia played Notre Dame, and of course we play Georgia Tech every year. So you're picking up two additional Power 5 teams. I like that as a fan. I mean, I love that. But I've said it 100 times. In the SEC, there's absolutely no reason to play these big out-of-conference games. It doesn't make it, if you're a head coach, if you're a player or whatever, it doesn't make any sense to do it, because if you win the SEC, you're going to the playoff. It doesn't matter whether you played 4 big-time out-of-conference games or 4 middle schools. You're still going to the playoff.
Yeah, I think West Virginia. I think they keep these games in there. I think they want to keep their roots. I think they want to branch out. West Virginia is like. Do they belong in the Big 12? I mean,
No.
I don't know. Is West Virginia, I mean, are they Southerners? Are they Yankees? Are they Midwesterners? Are they, what is it? I don't know. It's probably no man's land. It has no identity whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think West Virginia belongs to the ACC, but I was told that they don't qualify academically. But somehow Louisville does.
Somehow Louisville does. That could be the case. I mean, I think we're going to see some major conference realignment sometime in the next 5 to 10 years. You know, as far as what's going to happen, that's anybody's guess. If the Big 12 goes away, though, then you know, the West Virginia is going to land somewhere, whether that's the SEC or the ACC or the Big 10. They're sort of right in the middle of those 3 conferences, really. Geographically, they could sort of go. He's not here, buddy. Sorry.
One more point I want to hit on real quick, and then I'll give it up to someone else. Radio station up here in the upstate of South Carolina that I listen to a good bit. It is the Clemson radio station, but they have some interesting stuff on there. Gator fans, I mean, there's a lot of them that are calling in. They want you guys. They want you on the schedule like every year.
Clemson?
To me, yeah. To me, that to me it's not a good idea. I mean, because you're pretty much, I mean, you have to, they're setting themselves up. Look, I mean, let's face it, I don't like to admit it, but I mean, they're the ones who punch in the ACC. You know, they have a cakewalk to the playoffs every every year, as long as they don't stub their toe, for the foreseeable future, the next few years. Now anything can happen. But I mean, you throw UGA in the mix, and then you're forced with having to win. You have to win your conference. They have to win that conference championship game, or there will be no playoffs for the Tigers. So I mean, I don't.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen. I mean, I hear some Georgia fans say the same thing. You know, we wish we could play Clemson more like we used to. But it's just not going to. It's never going to happen. We play Georgia Tech every year. If we take on Clemson every year, I mean, I think we'll probably play Clemson twice a decade. I mean, that's what we've been doing. We played them twice in the 2000s. We played them twice already this decade. I wouldn't have a problem scheduling them for a home and homes again in the 2020s sometime. But as far as playing them every year, it's just never going to happen.
I'm not sure they want you guys, honestly. Do you know who People's Champ is?
No.
Do you know who People's Champ is from Facebook?
I don't think so, no.
Fan? Wallace.
I don't think so.
South Carolina. Anyway.
I mean, I would rather play, you know, if we played Clemson, if Georgia and Clemson played every year, Clemson wouldn't have played Auburn the last couple of years. Georgia wouldn't have played Notre Dame last year. Like, I would rather do these one-offs. Like it's cool to go play Notre Dame. We go play UCLA in a couple of years. That's cool. We don't ever play them. Like, we get to travel out west again to the West Coast. If you add Clemson as a permanent team year in and year out, you can forget about all those types of games happening. Those will be gone. You won't get those anymore.
You guys play UCLA next year?
Not next year. I think it's 2021 and 2022. It's a home and home.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least you've been in the Rose Bowl.
That's right. Yeah.
So far, but I'll leave you with this. But that guy, People's Champ, he's a big Georgia fan. He lives in Anderson, and his quote to the Clemson, the radio sports talk guy yesterday was that Todd Gurley is in Los Angeles and he's still scoring on Clemson.
All right, Carolina Jackpot. Thanks for the call.
Have a great one.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next time. That was Carolina Jackpot. Make sure you check him out if you haven't. He posts. He has other stuff besides football videos. He's like a lottery channel, really. But during football season, he posts a lot of college football content. He's a South Carolina Gamecock fan, so you guys make sure you check him out if you haven't already. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
It's Mark Johnson. I'm sure you know exactly who I am. I am a five-star caller, as I do say every time. But I just really want to talk about who I think is going to win it all and win the national championship. Is that okay? Okay, let's get right to the...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's okay, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to snort some cayenne pepper up my nose.
As I've been saying for the past few months, I believe Kansas will win the national championship. Where they have Clay Thompson, really good quarterback. And I think they will win. I think Oklahoma State is going to beat, my Oklahoma State Cowboys are going to beat Kansas, and then not in the national championship, but we will beat them in our regular schedule, our regular conference schedule. The score is somewhere around like 45-40 or something like that. But I think they will win the rest of the games, and we'll have a rematch in the Big 12 championship, and they will win. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely, yeah. And the reason I think they're going to turn that around is especially because of their theme song. I mean, just their song to their call is do, 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 do. You know what I mean?
I hope you're entertaining yourself.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
I'm trying to be serious.
Nothing. So which game are you looking forward to the most? Kansas and who?
Kansas and Oklahoma State. I think the Big 12 championship will go to several overtimes. We're talking about 10 overtimes potentially. I think Kansas comes out on top of 84-70, 84 to 80, you know?
I can see,
Something around a
yeah,
score like
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they could potentially still be playing that game by the time the playoffs start.
Absolutely. They'll have to be. They'll probably have some second string in. They'll have to keep switching while other people leave the stadium, you know, to go to their hotel and get some rest. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they wake up in the morning and come back and play. Yeah, totally. And I do think Oklahoma will go around 8-5 because I don't think the refs are going to really be for them this year. I think Oklahoma sucks. Okay, I just don't like Oklahoma. I think they're one of the worst football teams ever even walked this planet. They're cheaters. They're not good. Baker Mayfield is not good. They don't have a good running back. Don't you agree? I don't think they have a good running back. You said Rodney Anderson. He's not good. He can't run for 2 yards against Oklahoma State.
Rodney Anderson no good. Wow.
No good. Justice Hill is very good. I think he's talented. I think he's going to have an average of around 12 yards per carry. And I think Kansas running back will win the Heisman Trophy. But that's just my opinion, personally.
Well, he's definitely the favorite.
He's
definitely the preseason favorite, that Kansas running back. What's his name again, that running back for Kansas?
Oh, his name is Joshua Brown.
Joshua Brown. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Joshua Brown. I think he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. He's really good. You know, he's talented. He's really shifty. He's probably not going to go to the NFL because he's really small. But he is very shifty and fast. He's one of those small guys, you know, who can hide behind people, you know, or run and shift through holes really quickly and very quickly. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. We're on the same page, man. It's almost like this is almost like me calling into my own show.
Yes.
It's weird.
That's
it's like some sort of out-of-body experience or something. I almost feel like I need to put my tinfoil hat on, but it's a little too hot out here, so I'm not going to do that, which means, unfortunately, since I can't do that, I'm going to have to go ahead and end the call. But thank you. You are a 5-star caller, and I appreciate everything that you do.
5-star caller.
Nothing really I can say, I guess. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Morning, Lou.
Hey, good morning.
Bender here.
What's up, buddy?
I was hoping today I could talk a little bit about Auburn football and a little bit about their fans, too.
You can, as long as you tell me which games this year you're looking forward to the most that don't involve your own team. Those are the rules.
Oh, shoot. I have one in mind, but I'm not sure if it really counts because one of those games might. I still might. There's a tiny little slim chance that the UGA might be involved, and that's my team, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Whoever's Tennessee's first loss in the SEC. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So probably the Florida game, because that's their first SEC. That's their first chance to lose, so chances are.
So anyway, I assume you heard about the Auburn fan earlier today.
What Auburn fan? Who?
The one that snorts the cayenne peppers. He's been leaking your DUI.
Oh yeah. That's no secret though. I talk about that all the time. So I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but he's welcome to. He can knock himself out.
Yeah. I just heard about it today. I just thought I'd go ahead and let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but like I said, I don't know. I don't know what he expects to come of that or whatever, but you know.
Must be the cayenne peppers he's been snorting.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of which, I got a little message for you.
What's that?
If you know Auburn fan, I've got cayenne peppers growing in my backyard. I got a little garden here. Let him know if you need cayenne peppers, I'd be glad to sell them to him.
Is it organic? Because I'm pretty sure in the video he says
loves snorting them.
He says he only snorts organic pepper.
I got them growing back here. I don't use GMOs.
Okay.
I got them growing back here. I got cayenne and jalapenos back here if he wants to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he would be interested. So I don't know. Maybe you might need to get with him on that.
Yeah, if he's interested in coming out to Cumming, Georgia, I'd love to make a deal.
All right. Anyway, what's on your mind today, or is that it?
Not much. Not much is on my mind. I'm just still trying to get myself back to reality. Sitting out here in the sweltering Georgia heat, waiting for some showers. The Braves lost to the damn Reds today.
Sorry.
Nothing much.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you. I got distracted. Somebody said something about Clemson beating Carolina by 3 touchdowns, and I got distracted. Sorry.
So the Braves beat the damn Reds today. Basically the equivalent of Georgia losing to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I can't keep up with baseball. I know the Braves are doing good just because I see people talking about it all the time, like on Facebook and Twitter or whatever. I just, I haven't paid attention to baseball in years, and if I tried to start paying attention to it now, I would just be like a Braves bandwagon type deal. I don't know. It's sort of like the NBA and hockey to me. I'll pay attention once the playoffs and all that start with baseball. I just can't get into it for 162 games.
I tell you what, I mean, I know the Braves are doing good, and they probably have a chance to turn it around, but past couple of series, man, the Braves have been tripping.
Yeah.
Lose to the Orioles and the Reds. Back-to-back series at home on homecoming.
Well, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah.
So, first time ever.
And even worse, we have to play the damn Yankees coming up soon on the 4th of July. So, if the Braves don't get their shit together by then, they're just gonna steamroll us.
Yeah.
We go to New York too.
Yeah, what an exciting series
Anyway,
that'll be, Braves and Yankees. I can't wait.
It has a chance to be an exciting series if the Braves get their shit together, but if not, they're just going to get steamrolled up there. No excuse.
Right. All right,
anyway, I got
Bender.
one more thing to say, Lou.
All right.
I got one. I want you to repeat after me.
Oh, God.
I want you to repeat after me real quick.
Okay.
I, Uncle Lou.
I, Uncle Lou.
Believe that Kim.
Huh?
Just go with it.
I didn't hear what.
Squidtard.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm doing something for Squidtard right now to help him out with his girlfriend. You need me to go over it again?
Well, I heard I, Uncle Lou, and then I didn't hear what the hell you said after that. So I can't repeat it if I don't know what you said.
All right, let's just start it over. I, Uncle Lou.
I, Uncle Lou.
Believe that Kim.
Believe that Kim.
Is not ugly.
Is not ugly.
There you go, Lou.
Thank you for the call.
If you're watching, you're welcome, buddy.
That was amazing. That was groundbreaking. Time for another call or two. 706-510-6817. If you want to be on the show. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Beepity.
Hello. I would like to basically talk about OSU.
706-510-6817 if you want to be on the show. Now would be a good time to do it. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hi, Uncle Lou. Good morning. I just wanted to call in to discuss Texas, and because they have a number 2 recruiting class, I wanted to ask you for your opinion on it.
I'm high on.
What do you think they could do next season?
I'm high on Texas. Now, obviously, having the number 2 recruiting class for the 2019 season doesn't have anything to do with what's going to happen in 2018, but I think they're going to be good this year. I think they need to win 9 or 10 games at least. They need to show some serious improvement under Tom Herman. Losing to Maryland last year was unacceptable. That never should have happened. It better not happen again this year, and they really need to find a way to get to 9 or 10 wins. I think they can do it. I think the Big 12 needs Texas to be good to give it some more legitimacy and to sort of raise people's awareness that the Big 12 even exists. I mean, people just kind of think of Oklahoma as its own entity now. The Big 12's been so bad, but I'm a big believer in Tom Herman. I think he can do well at Texas. There's no reason he can't. The recruiting there, the high school talent there is elite in Texas, and he can go out and get other players when he needs to. He needs to win 9 or 10 games this year. Now, I don't expect Texas to be competing for any national titles in the next year or two, but if Herman keeps recruiting at a high level, I do think Tom Herman is a good enough coach to eventually make it to a playoff or a national title game.
I got another question. Since UGA's Achilles heel was the secondaries last year, we struggled with secondaries. How do you think that will improve next year?
Well, I don't know enough about the Texas coaching staff or what defensive backs you guys have as freshmen this year that you didn't have last year. I don't know enough about Texas to be able to go into all that. All I know about Texas...
I'm not a Texas fan. I'm asking about UGA now, UGA secondary.
Oh, UGA's got a top 5 secondary in the nation. That's not Uncle Lou's opinion. I mean, you go pick up one of these preseason magazines that rank each unit on each team nationally. UGA has one of the best 5 secondaries in America. We've got probably the best or one of the best lockdown corners in the SEC in DeAndre Baker. You got J.R. Reed returning from last year, who's sort of like a safety linebacker hybrid. Richard LeCount will play a lot this year, 5-star recruit. Our defensive backfield will not be an issue this year. I would be more concerned about Georgia's defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback than I would about the defensive secondary covering receivers. I think our secondary is going to be elite.
All right, well, I just wanted to call in. I just want to say you make great videos. I'm appreciative of what you do every day, so just keep on going.
Hey, I appreciate those kind words, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you. I enjoy doing them, and it always makes me happy when somebody tells me they enjoy watching them. So thank you. That was nice of you, sir. I appreciate that, and I hope that you'll keep calling back in during the season. We have a handful of Big 12 callers that call in, not nearly, obviously, as many as we do SEC callers. So I hope you'll keep calling in, sir, during the season and keep us up to date with what's going on out there and everything like that. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing great.
I wanted to talk about 2 things that have been a little bit on my mind so far about college football.
All right, let's do it.
I mainly want to talk about my team and the Dogs, all right?
All right.
Well, if you want to know, I am a Georgia Tech fan, but I would like to hear your opinion on how you think our season will go, if you don't mind.
How I think what? You cut out at the end. I heard you say you're a Georgia Tech fan.
I'm sorry. Yes, I am. My whole family is. I would like to ask if you could opinion on how you think our season will turn out.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a pretty normal Paul Johnson type of season. I don't think you're winning the ACC, and I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say that. Clemson is an elite program right now. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat them. I don't think Georgia Tech is going to be as bad as some of the years they've had, and I don't think they're going to be as good as some of the years they've had. I think they'll be right in the middle. I think Georgia Tech can win 8 games, maybe 8-4, maybe 7-5, 8-4, somewhere in that range, and then with a bowl win, maybe finish with 8 or 9 wins. That would be my honest assessment without doing any trash talk or anything like that. He hung up. Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou too.
I'm sorry, I cut out. My service went off.
That's okay. What I said is, they're not winning the ACC. I mean, I don't think I'm crazy if I say that. Clemson's a huge favorite. They're also, I don't think, going to win 3 games or whatever like they've done a couple of times either. I think they'll be somewhere in the middle, 7, 8, 9 wins, depending on what happens in a bowl game. I think they'll be better than some years, not as good as others.
I mean, well, the 2 games that I know we're probably going to lose is Clemson and UGA.
Right.
I mean, that's honestly, those games, Clemson at Tech, we play better, and we play better at Georgia. We ain't going to get hopefully blown out, but the game I'm most worried about for us is Miami. I'm still frustrated after that loss we had last year.
Y'all should have beat them last year. You outplayed them. You were the better team that day, and you absolutely should have won that game. And that catch that tight end had for Miami down the sideline with like 30 seconds or something to go in the game was one of the luckiest plays I've seen in a couple of years. That was unreal. But you guys absolutely whipped them. Yeah. You guys should have won that game. I agree with you there. And I ragged on Miami fans. That game was one of the reasons it took me so long to buy into Miami. I mean, they beat y'all, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and I'm sitting there going, but, they're not that good. Look at Georgia Tech game. Look what they did against North Carolina. They barely beat North Carolina. Turns out I was wrong. They were an okay team. But, yeah, you guys absolutely beat them in every way other than the scoreboard in that game. That was unreal. The ending of that game was unbelievable.
My dad was at the stadium. He was sitting right there walking away when he saw it happen.
No. Yeah, that was brutal.
He was just devastated. But, no, I do feel like we will be better against Georgia, just honestly, because the loss of Roquan. Because we went to the game this year, and he was just making every tackle on our outside runs. Like, he was gone as soon as we went.
An elite middle linebacker can really cause a lot of problems for an option offense because he can meet you in the hole if he needs to, but he can run. Roquan can run sideline to sideline with the best linebackers in the world, and so that can cause a problem for triple option teams, and we saw that last year. And I will agree with you in that we don't have anybody that's going to replace Roquan Smith. I mean, we've got some okay inside linebackers, but we don't have anybody on our team at the level of a Roquan Smith. Not even close, in my opinion.
That's why I think it'll be a little bit closer game. I still think y'all will beat us just because we got to get used to our new defensive coordinator, which I'm excited about. At least we'll be able to pressure the quarterback. I mean, hell, we had 17 sacks this season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pitiful.
Yeah, that's not getting it done for sure. And I mean, the thing about Georgia Tech, you gotta have an above average defense because you guys, it's a time of possession game for Georgia Tech. You guys want to keep the ball, run it 90% of the time, chew all that time off the clock. Well, if the defense is going out there and can't stop the other team, can't get off the field or whatever, that just screws up everything that Georgia Tech wants to do as a team.
And
so,
I mean, our defense this year lost us a lot of games. I mean, I was at Tennessee game too, and lo and behold, we had almost 600 rushing yards.
That was another one. Yeah, that was another one where you guys were obviously the better team, and as the season played out, I think we all saw that.
2014, I thought we had it won.
Yeah, well, everybody thought y'all had that game won, even Tennessee fans. I mean, it wasn't even that game. I mean, y'all were murdering them, and of course, they came back on you, like you mentioned, your defense letting you down there. But another game, so y'all easily could have had 2 more wins last year if you look at the Tennessee and the Miami game. So let's say your season goes just like it went last year, except this time you win those 2 games that you gave away last year, right? I know you don't play Tennessee. I'm just saying, let's just assume you win 2 close games that last year you lost. Then that puts you at 2 games better than last year, and I think most Georgia Tech fans would be okay with that. Obviously, they really want to beat Georgia, in-state rivalry deal. But if Tech loses to if Tech loses to Clemson and Georgia and loses one other game and goes 9-3, I think most Tech fans would be happy with that.
Miami. That's the game I'm more worried about. Miami. That's the game that. Like, I'm used to us not doing well against Georgia. My dad, he is, and my granddad, he is, though, because he grew up in the 50s. He was there the Bobby Dodd years, but minus that.
Yeah.
But Clemson, we haven't been doing good. But the one last thing before I switch over to Georgia's schedule and give you my opinion on that. The offense we do run it's a complicated way for it to work. Because if you remember in 2014, we won the Orange Bowl, almost beat Florida State in the ACC championship. We were like a touchdown off, I believe. And next year we go 3-9.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. There was one difference on our offense that changed. If nobody remembers, I do.
What?
And that was one offensive lineman, Jack Mason, going to the Patriots. Because in 2014,
he just blew holes open for the B-back to run right up the middle and get about 6 yards of carry. We lose him in 2015, 3-9. I mean, it was one player we lost. We had everybody coming back. Ricky June, Smelter. We had almost every one of our guys, but he was the only one we lost him. That shows that it turned our season from good to bad in a snap.
Well, point is, you went 3-9, but you still beat Florida State that year, so that was amazing and made a lot of people happy.
Yeah,
but
that game, I remember, I almost busted a hole in my roof. Scott jumped so high.
That's my kind of you're my kind of fan. I like that punching holes and stuff. That's I think that's the right way to do it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the Georgia if you want to talk about that, because I got to wrap things up here.
All right. The Georgia schedule, I feel like the toughest games at the first half of the season will be LSU, South Carolina, in my opinion. LSU is a coaching situation. It's got to get fixed until they can get back into playing right. But South Carolina, I mean, they may go for a fight, but it's slim. But the real tough part of the schedule is the last 3 games, which I believe is a trap game in one of them, because you have 3 straight rivalry games with Florida, then Auburn, then Tech.
Right.
Which is, I believe, one of those games y'all could lose, but those games will probably all be close in my opinion.
Who knows? I mean, Georgia's going to be favored. I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. Georgia's going to be favored in all 12 of their games. Does that mean they'll win them all? No. Yeah. But if Georgia does any worse than 10-2, it will be a huge disappointment. Yeah. Huge disappointment. Really, 11-1 should be what we're shooting for here. But even 10-2 would be okay as long as they still win the East. But really, it should be 11-1. Anything worse than 10-2 is unacceptable. Too much talent, and the schedule's too easy. Tennessee's in the toilet. Florida's got a new coach that doesn't know what he's doing and has the worst record against ranked teams than any other coach in history. South Carolina is probably our best competition in the East, which that tells you everything you need to know.
Be able to recruit just a little bit better talent than, what's his name? I don't forget it.
Yeah, I mean, now 2-3 years down the road, I may be singing a different tune about Florida's chances in the SEC. Yeah. This year, they don't have any. It's that simple. I don't even understand why they're wasting their time talking about Georgia. They should be trying to beat Mississippi State and LSU, because both of those things are probably not happening for Florida. But we'll see. That's why they play the games.
Well, one last thing before I let you go here.
Okay.
Last year, the one game that I did look at your schedule while I was watching on live TV was that Mississippi State game. There was something about that I knew that Georgia was going to win that game before it even started.
Yeah, I was worried about that game heading into it because the week before we had struggled. We had struggled
and win that for one little fact.
Yeah, we struggled the week before, barely beat Notre Dame, and that same week Mississippi State went into LSU and absolutely destroyed. That might have been in Starkville. I don't remember. Point is, they absolutely destroyed LSU. And at that particular time, we thought LSU was a pretty good team. So I was worried. But that was the turning point for me. When we beat Mississippi State 31-3, I said, okay, this team could do something.
But the one thing I looked at before the game started about the quarterback, Fitzgerald, was that he was a lifelong Georgia fan and wanted to play for him his whole career. And I knew when it was at Georgia and he started hearing things barking, I knew it was going to get to him because he loved that team so much. I knew it was probably going to get to his head.
Yeah, he grew up in Georgia, Savannah area, I think. He hasn't made a secret of it. He really wanted to come to Georgia. Georgia didn't offer him a scholarship. And really, it had nothing to do with his talent level. For the type of quarterback that Nick Fitzgerald is, he's a pretty good talent. The problem is at the time he was coming out of high school, Georgia wasn't recruiting those types of quarterbacks. We were recruiting average to mediocre pocket passing quarterbacks, and that just wasn't what Nick Fitzgerald was doing. So, but hey, I appreciate the call. Good luck to your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets this year, except for the last week of the season, though.
I really like enjoying your videos. I enjoy all the content you do. It's really fun.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope you'll stay in touch with us during the season and keep calling in and keep us up to date on what's going on with Georgia Tech. And thank you for the kind words, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a good call. We'll end it there with a Georgia Tech fan. Unusual. I think that might be the first time a Georgia Tech fan has ever called in, and he sounded knowledgeable, like he knew some football. So let's give the guy some credit. That was a good call to end the show. Thanks to everybody that watched. Don't forget to check out Lanier HVAC Services if you need some HVAC work done on your residential HVAC unit. Call the people over at Lanier HVAC Services 678-943-1351. They're good enough to take care of Uncle Lou. Let's make sure we return the favor if we need some work done. Let's give them a call. Tell them Uncle Lou said good morning. Click the link in the description if you want to help support this Uncle Lou show. The first link, the one that says sports show, or if you want to win a jersey, we give a jersey away. That'll be next week, I guess, right? We give a jersey away every month. So this is your last few days here if you want to get into the jersey giveaway for this month. So if you want the jersey, click the top link in the description of every video. It's there. Thanks to all the callers today. Great calls today. Only 2 or 3 mentally retarded people called in today, which is pretty good. Some days it's worse. So only about 2 or 3 mouth breathers today. Velcro shoe wearing, mouth breathing, window licking tards called in today. Only 2 or 3, so that's good. Thanks to all the good calls. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that's watched, everybody commenting in the comment section. The next live show will be tomorrow night, Thursday night at 10 p.m. And I have a video I'm working on. I filmed it. I just didn't have time to finish editing it today, or I would have uploaded it today. My thoughts on the new red shirt rules in college football, which if you haven't heard, they changed the rules for the red shirt effective this season. And it's a big deal. And it's a great change, I think. Sometimes, you know, they come in and make these changes and screw things up. I think this is great. I think it's good for the players. I think it's good for the team as a whole, and I think it's good for the fans. So I'll have a video on that out for you tomorrow morning, and then the live show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, followed up by another live show Friday, same time as we did this one, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for all the kind words today. I appreciate it. I don't hear that very often, so thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys real soon. Have a good morning.